X gonna give it to you, but the iconic one. Shoot. I like X a lot better. Like, I like X a whole lot better than Snoop Doggy Dogg or anybody from NWA. Like, far better. Uh, you know what I'm saying? I just like X a lot better than most because that is a real dude, man. I got, you know what I'm saying? Like, you listen to some rappers and you know that they ain't doing what they say they doing. And then turns out a lot of these rappers is, working for the police. They help destroy whole neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? They were the problem, and now they're trying to act like they're the solution. You never got that from X. You never got that from him. He either was or he wasn't. That's what I liked about X, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why he still got fans that love him. Because he's a true. Hey, what's going on, Star? Gladys Knight. But yeah, I was thinking about you the other day, Star. But yeah, either he was or he was. That's what I liked about X. When you all the videos you see him in, he just never was a fake dude. You know what I'm saying? There was never no faking about him. He was never talking about tearing up the neighborhood. He was just talking about if you mess with him, what you gonna get. You know what I'm saying? Man, that dude is an icon. But they need to let him go ahead and be with the Lord. Pray over his soul and let him be with the Lord, man. He gone. I mean, his brainwaves ain't doing nothing. Not unless somebody can, pray the blood of Jesus over him. He kept it 100, is what I'm saying. X was 100 all the time. I mean, when X was doing, listen, the thing about X is he was always on drugs. X got tricked. You know what I'm saying? They laced his blunt with something. He got tricked into it, and he's always been addicted. He's always been on it. All right. But we didn't know about it until, of course, his latter years, and we didn't care. We was like, yeah, you got a problem. There's a lot of you people who are in the industry got those problems. Y'all make all that money. Heck, we cared more about X being put in jail for taxes than we cared about. You know what I'm saying? When X went to jail for taxes, we was just like, what? How you gonna send X to jail? But he made all that money. Y'all gonna make me lose my mind. I mean, he was making hit after hit after. Oh my God, he sold so many albums. He sold so many albums. He's just that deal. You just loved him. He's just that deal, man. And when you ran into him on the street, he was a real dude. Like, you see videos of him on the street, he'll still rap battle with you too. He's still nice with it. Used to see him in Harlem. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, they go wild. Actually, just a dude, man. Like, dang, don't take away my dude. Like, I never got to see him in concert, but I just loved his energy. Even when he was falling down, X was telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? He had his wife by him. Like this dude. He's just the realest dude. Yeah, he's just the realest dude, man. And you just always felt for X, like when he was going, he's always been going through it, but when he revealed that he was going through it, you're just like, X, but you still the homie though, man. Like, nobody looked at X and was like, yo, he a drugged out. Like, you ain't hear nobody come at X sideways when X was like, yeah, I was on drugs, yada, yada, yada. I mean, they clown Whitney Houston for being on, crack his whack with her crazy self. But nobody clowned X. Nobody in the industry clowned him. No one. Yeah, yeah, man. Nobody clowned this dude. Nobody had anything crazy out their mouth to say. No one. No one. I mean, when you got somebody like that in the game 30 years, you know what I'm saying? In the game 30 years, somebody like that, ain't nobody saying nothing bad to, you got yourself a real one. Because everybody, listen, even the internet trolls, even the industry trolls, like you hear people like 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine goes after everybody. 6ix9ine won't dare say anything about X. But no, no one in the industry is gonna go after X. No one. They don't want those problems because X was always the homeboy. When X was talking about the Rough Riders, he was talking about getting the whole community up and running. Yeah, what's going on, young goat? He was talking about getting his whole community up and going. That's what I loved about him. You see him in the videos, he would have like a whole bunch of people with him, all rocking the same Rough Rider, and they was a whole community. You know what I'm saying? That's what I loved about him, man. I don't even ride bikes, but that made me want to go and get a pedal bike or something. Like, bro, can I get in here with my Schwinn, bro? Can I biking down the street, bro? Can I? I'll pop a little half wheelie for you. Can I get in? You ain't did basketball in a while. I stopped doing basketball, man. You know what? Just because you said something, I'm gonna do a basketball joint. Yeah, but I feel bad for X. I feel bad for him. I think he should go ahead and rest. If God's going to take his soul into heaven, I think he should just go ahead and go. But if his soul is going, to somewhere different, I think, God should let him stay here until he gets his repent on. Okay, I'll come back then. I'll come back and do some more sports stuff, man. You know I don't watch sports that much because especially all the bull crap that's been happening with sports. But because you asked me to, I will. You know, and I mean, and I'm not going to do a whole like sarcastic. Like I'm gonna really get in. I'm gonna find out some information and get into it. Like I'm gonna tell you right now, the stuff that's going on with Stephen A. Smith and Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. Just you know what I'm saying? It does nothing. Him and the actor dude and all the nonsense they got going on. It's kind of, it's for ratings. Like it's like stuff that women get into. Like I don't care about that. Yeah, it's all rigged. That's why I don't watch it. But I will do a I'll do something for you, bro. You asked me to. I'll get it in there when I ain't all tired and worn out like I am today. Good grief. I've been humping all day today, and the guy just wanted me to come and pick up a big old double door fridge. I'm just like, shh, bro, I can't make it over there to get that fridge. You know what? I'm gonna have to like schedule a live with you, man, because I haven't watched anything about that. I heard LeBron was leaving. You know what I'm saying? Going to Brooklyn or something like that. But yeah, I'll have to get into it with you, bro. But my dude X, man, I feel yeah. I heard LeBron was leaving. I feel some kind of way about X not being able to do his thing, man. One of the last videos I saw X do, some dude was trying to battle rap X right on the street. Another famous dude. I don't know who he was though. And he spit some rhymes to X. You know what I'm saying? X is a whole superhero. That dude is a superhero. That dude is a whole characters. There's nobody like him. There's nobody like this dude, man. He's like a whole. See, you see when he goes into rap mode, like this dude changes, man. He like, there's nobody like this man. Nobody like X. Damn, that's man. I love when industry dudes see each other on the street and start spitting bars. I love that stuff. Yeah. Nah, I don't. Thank you. No, I don't mind at all. I figured since you know what I'm saying, if for one he opened up with long time no see, and if somebody comes and says long time no see, that tells me a couple things. For one, they're still checking for me, and they get props just for that. And then he told me why he was coming to my channel or why he's been watching my channel, which is the sports. So I can't do nothing but show somebody love who's still here to see a sports video, and I haven't put up a sports video in the longest. He's like, you ain't put one up, and this is why he hasn't been. This is why he's like long term no, no see. I'm still with you, Tone, but you ain't been putting up no sports video. How can you not show love to somebody like that? They still sub to you. You ain't been on your job because you got off in the other things. Come on, man. Yeah, I'm gonna show him love. I'm gonna put up a sports video. I'm gonna put up a basketball. He asked me about Steph Curry, so I already know Steph Curry is gonna be where I'm gonna go when I do that video for him. I'm gonna check out what Steph's doing, and he wanted to know what I think, so I'm gonna do a video on what I think about what Steph Curry's doing and what it's gonna do to the industry. Of course, I'm gonna get into some detail because I'm gonna look at how much money he's gonna make when he switches from one end to the other. That's really what it's all about. But yeah, I'm gonna do that for him. Yeah. This I said that's what I heard. I'm not saying for sure that's what I heard. Maybe somebody just put it up there for nothing. I was just like, oh, okay, doesn't surprise me. Yeah, I know, because they got Durant. But Durant been out for 29 games. That's why Stephen A. Smith was getting on him. Been out for 29 games. Like, these guys are only playing when it comes towards the playoffs. Like, this was a big deal a couple of years ago because, a lot of stars were doing that, and people would go to the games and the stars weren't there. Well, they're paying for the stars. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're like, are you that hurt, Kevin Durant, where you can't play? Like, do something. You're getting paid to play, and what it's going to do is going to change the industry. Yeah, I mean, good luck to him, but it's going to change the industry. It's looking bad. If Stephen A. Smith is talking about it, you got to understand, they pay this man millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars to have an opinion. Millions. You know what I'm saying? Stephen A. Smith is at the top of the sports. He's at the top. To me, I think he gets paid the most. You know what I'm saying? And I think he's the most influential. So if he is coming out and saying, look, bro, like, I don't know what's going on with you guys where you're not playing. You know what I'm saying? If he's saying something like that, then you better believe that enough people has complained about it. And Roger Goodell, and who's the other one? It's Goodell, and who's the other one? The other guy. The one with the bald head. Those guys are going to have to make some changes, and they will. Goodell is football, but the other guy is basketball. They'll make some changes, and it's not going to look good. It's not going to look good for sports if they get in those offices and say, you know what, these guys don't play, they don't get paid. It's not going to be good. You know what I'm saying? And they'll fool around and give the money to the women. They'll give the money to the women. And Draymond Green. Draymond's playing. I I mean, those guys are bigger than Draymond, but still, Draymond's playing, you gonna play. Yeah, my dude X, man. I'm just hurt about it. I'm just hurt. Y'all gonna stop. Gonna stop. Open up shop. X, man. On the remix. You just couldn't wait to hear him go, arr, arr. You know what I'm saying? You just couldn't wait to hear you just couldn't wait to hear him do something like, it's gonna be quick. He not gonna pull through. He gone. He gone. We know he gone too. When they claim that when they say that you brain dead, there's no activity, they're gonna pull the plug on you. Now there's gonna be a whole bunch of people drawing pictures of him on Facebook. It's my dude though. There's just very few real MCs who really like you couldn't I listen, I don't know anyone in the industry. No one in the industry. No one. And you gotta understand where I'm at. You gotta understand where I'm at. Young girl, yeah, we're hurt. Yeah, we hurting, man. But you gotta understand where I'm at. You gotta understand where I'm at when it comes to DMX, right? Okay. You gotta understand, I'm 53 years old. All right. So I was around when hip hop started. Okay. I was around when there was a song out called Daha Daha. All right. Let me show you who I. Let me just let you know. I was around when they first started doing beat breaks. I was around when MC Shan, no, no, no. I was around with Red Alert when KRS One was doing the Bridges Over. When Roxanne had to finally come out and show who she was, and she fine. Roxanne Shantae line stuff. Roxanne's grandmother, Roxanne's a man. I was around when all that was going on. I was in high school. No, no, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. I was even in a rap group myself. No, wait. Wait, we didn't do nothing but we tried. And I knew I wasn't that good at rap, but we was like 14. We was like, yo, let's do it. We ain't do nothing with it though. But still, high school, I made my own CD, like my own tapes out of like beatboxing and, like, come on, man. I was around with the Fat Boys. You know what I'm saying? One of them just died too. We lost two of them. I even went to concert with them. Listen, when Bambaataa and all them was doing that, way back in the day. Y'all get funky. Yeah, it's real. Come on, TV. Let your body swing, socialize, get down, let your soul get now. Go, ladies. No, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? I seen icons come and go. I seen hip hop start, and then hip hop started influencing everybody little by little. And first we was mad because Blondie came out with a song called Rapture. Hold on a second. Y'all not listening. Blondie came out with a song called Rapture. You gotta understand, Blondie was a punk rocker. She was all the way on the white side of music. And then her DJ or whoever got her hooked on to Fab Five Freddy. No, y'all not listening. And then she came out with Fab Five Freddy on every like side DJ song is spinning my mind, flash is fast, fast is cool, ain't no tool, and you don't stop, do punk rock. This woman was rapping, this white woman from punk rock was rapping. Y'all don't understand what I'm saying. We was hot. But the more you listen to it, the more you liked it. Yo, I'm from the days where Double Dutch Bus came on every day over the airways at 7 o'clock in the morning. They played the Double Dutch Bus. The Double Dutch Bus coming. I used to wake up to it every day. Down the street, moving in it. When the Ha came out, I was in high school. The Ha, ha. Listen, rap wasn't even that big. And then the Sugar Hill Gang blew it up. Curtis Blow. Listen, I was 12 when Curtis Blow was. No, I was 12 to 13 when he came out with "They're playing basketball. We love that basketball." Y'all don't understand. Y'all not listening. Run DMC sold 15. Y'all don't understand that. So when J Master Jay lost his life, that influenced me. So I watched X and all of those guys come up, and I'm telling you now, there is not one person in the industry, not one person, who's ever said something bad about X and X didn't address it and get it out the way. Not one. You talking about somebody who, we talking about the industry now. No, you're not listening. You gotta understand this. When X came out, hip hop was worldwide. Okay? First hip hop was just local. Then it was hitting the airwaves. When X was out, it was worldwide. Asian people was rapping. People in the Sudan was rapping. People in Europe was going nuts. That's how big hip hop is. Nobody said anything to DMX and didn't pay for it. Nobody. Nobody. Because DMX had a whole community behind him. He wasn't talking about dogging your neighborhood out. He was talking about the neighborhood being dogged out. He wasn't talking about running up and doing something to you unless you did something to him. He was the total reverse of a lot of these rappers who talk about nothing but death. Even today, DMX didn't get off on that. He just told you what was going on in his hood. And that was just that. He wasn't a part of it. He was like, this is what's going on in the hood. And he lets you know. And that's why so many people love DMX, because he was telling the truth. You can't say DMX was an informant, but you can look at NWA and you start questioning how they was doing whatever they was doing and getting away with it. You can't look at a lot of rappers and look at all the criminal activity they's in and how they was getting away with it. You cannot do that with DMX. You can't put none of that stuff on DMX. He was a real one, and to make it so bad, people from every coast love X. Whenever New York and LA was going on with Biggie and Pac, X wasn't nowhere near it. He was nowhere near it, but he was in New York. So, but he had love for everybody. So you didn't hear, you know what I'm saying? You didn't hear him you just didn't hear nothing about X squabbling or squawking with nobody. You never heard none of it. And this is why we love DMX. He's a real dude. You were just coming off the porch. Yeah, he's a real dude. It just hurts. But when I first heard about him being on those drugs, man, I was like, that's a bad look. That's a bad look. Yeah, and I'm praying that he does make it out of there. Music will never be the same. Nah, because he was the homie. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't a big time rap star, glitz and glamour, shiny dude. He wasn't like Jay Z. You can't go up and you can't look. There's even a video where people walk up and try to hug Jay Z. You can't touch that dude. You can't just walk up on Jay Z and start talking to him. Jay Z's got to have this whole persona about him to do that. DMX, you can not only walk up to this dude and talk to him, but you can do it right at the goddamn corner store. This dude will be on Broadway and Myrtle and let you know where he's at, and will be like, "Come down to Broadway and Myrtle," and will be chilling right there with you. Like that's the kind of dude he is. Like all these rappers who are all this flashy, and all this crazy stuff, and you can't go to their concerts because look, you can't go to a lot of you couldn't go to a Dipset concert back in the day without getting your face slashed. Go to a Dipset concert, you get lit up. DMX prices wasn't crazy. He wasn't charging you an arm and a leg. He was selling albums. He didn't have to do that. You can't, a lot of these people, you can't walk up and talk, even today, because they think they something they not. DMX was the opposite. He was the anti-hype. He was a regular dude who could rap his ass off, and everybody loved him in every part of the world. You ain't hear nothing bad about him. You know what I'm saying? He was just a regular dude. That's because he was bringing his neighborhood up, and he was bringing you up with it. If you was with it, you roll with it. He's the type of dude that will let you into the Rough Riders if you got your head on right. Like this is what we doing. You either with it or you not. You can bring your grandma too, but your grandma act crazy, we kicking her out. Like that's you know what I'm saying. You can hear DMX saying that to you. Yo, grandma, what you doing? This ain't right. You got to get out. You got to get out. We ain't having it today, grandma. DMX, that's your grandma. I don't care. You feel me? Yeah, he gone. I knew he was going to die. You know what they did? They probably just pulled the plug on him because what they did was they invited his family, his children, and so they probably asked him. They probably said, "Okay, his brains have no signal. He's brain dead." So then, of course, this is where the laws have to step in and say, according to the law, if somebody is brain dead, they go to the next of kin and then say, "What do you want us to do?" And usually they say, "Go ahead and pull the plug if there's no brain activity." Like he's a vegetable. He's all the way gone. Uh, so that's what happened. They called his children. His children showed up, and then and I had already heard about them calling his children. That's how I knew. So when I heard that, I was just like, yeah, he gone. He gone. Yeah, there'll be a memorial of him in Harlem. They'll probably make a statue of him for him. Yeah, they'll probably make a statue for him. Yeah, yeah. My dad pumped that too. Love it. Yeah, you couldn't help but love DMX because he was just a real down ass dude who you could see anywhere. They, this the type of dude. Okay, so I was at a Sugar Hill Fat Boys, um, and there was a couple other people there. Big stars there. And the thing about the Fat Boys is, you expect everybody to get on these buses and roll out like they're big time. Fat Boys was just walking down the street in Pittsburgh, just walking right down the street like it was nothing. I was like, "Yo, Fat Boys, what's up?" Like you love that stuff because you can just sit there and talk to the people you listen to, making all these albums. Nah, you gotta listen to his music, man. Let it live on. Let it live on. That's how people live on. Their legacy. That's his legacy. What you mean you're not listening to his music no more? What kind of honoring a man is that? Eric B. Rakim paid in full. Of course. Rakim is still sick. He will eat you up. I know he couldn't get over the death of. Hell no, that's hard to look. I was just thinking about Aaliyah today. It's hard to get over Aaliyah. The Illuminati killed him. I don't know about none about that. And then it would be for what? Why would the Illuminati kill him? Now DMX had a problem. He was addicted. Yeah, I can't say what number he was, DMX, but I'm gonna tell you something. DMX. Um, okay, so if you're looking at that, you're going number one was Biggie or number one was Pac, and then DMX. Out of the old heads, number one for me was Biggie. Can I say Tupac was number? And this is just how they influenced me. I can't say Tupac influenced me to be, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because Tupac, okay, Tupac was he was a love him and then hate him type of dude. He had too many. He was flipping. You know what I'm saying? Like he would be in a neighborhood and he shot two police. He shot two police in the ass for harassing this person. Gunned him down. Just boom, boom, shot him in the ass. Who does that? You know what I'm saying? But yet he was spitting on people. And he was talking about, Mob Deep and how, you know, P had sickle cell. Like he would do stuff to just make you go, like, yo, I'm not feeling you at all, and them feelers. And but then he would do stuff and but sing about Mama's had a baby or Brenda's had a baby. You know what I'm saying? Brenda's had a baby, but Brenda's barely in it. Damn shame. And she get his hair. And I'm just like, Pac, I don't know how to feel about you. But then when you listen to his poetry, he found out he started off as a poet and the stuff that he was trying to do, you're just like, yeah, I love that about you, bro, but you gotta help me help you. Like, which way are you going? Biggie was just a drug dealing ass dude from the street. And that's it. And this is why I liked him. Because Biggie told you the truth. He let you know exactly what he was. He was a broke dude, came up broke, and once he started slinging, he got on. And that was just it. And he could just rhyme. You know what I'm saying? And there were some people I knew that was like, yo, Biggie used to come into the hood and people be like, dig old Biggie, and then, and other people would like scatter like roaches. Like Biggie was actually that dude. You know what I'm saying? He was that dude. Long before we knew he was a rapper, Biggie was already, doing his thing. So, I mean, out of all three of them, whose music that I like the most, I'm gonna go with Big. Big moved me the most because I was listening to him when I was 27 in college. I was listening to him and Pac, but I like Big the most because I'm not a street dude. So, but I knew street dudes. Heck, some of them are in my family. And I admired the hustle, but I didn't admire all the stuff that came with it. And, me being somewhat around them and all that other stuff, I'd look at what they would do and all the jive they would talk and realize a lot of it is bullcrap. But when it came to hustle, that was different. And some of it rubbed off on me. I almost got into the game myself, but I wasn't made for it. So God saved me from that. And I'm gonna tell you something else. When I listen to DMX and how he got into drugs, I'm gonna tell you something. When I was 14, we used to have a neighborhood drug dealer named Eric. And the thing about Eric was he was he lived by himself. He was a full grown man. And what Eric would do is sell weed, right? There's a couple of them that sell weed, but Eric was the number one weed dude. And me and Jason were best friends. It was me, Jason, and there was two others. And but me and Jason was, we was best friends at that time. And so Jason was like, "Yo, let's go over to Eric's house." So we went over to Eric's house, and they started puffing. And you know how it is, puff, 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 pass. And they passed it to me, and I hit it, and I choked on it, and I gave it back, stood up, and walked out. That was my introduction to drugs. So the way X got hooked on it, they laced him, they laced his, it could happen to anyone, especially at the age he was. They could it could happen to anyone is what I'm saying. Some people might look at it and go, nah, you could have got out of that. Like, nah, it could happen to anyone. And if it could happen to a square like me, it could happen to anyone. You feel me? And that's a real story that really did happen to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Eric did. And here's the thing about the drug dealer. The drug dealer can't be just a crazy person. The drug dealer has to be somebody who is, one, around his target audience. Two, he has to relate to his target audience. And Eric was the fastest runner in our hood. And we had people who they were trying to get into the NBA, the NFL. They were trying to go to D1 schools. We had a whole neighborhood of just strict athletes, but Eric would hardly be out there running and stuff like that. And we used to do stuff like go outside and start racing, and once two of us start racing, four, 8, 16. Next thing you know, the whole hood is running up and down the street trying to see who was the fastest. That's I grew up in a very competitive atmosphere. We were all trying to see who was the fastest person on the block. And everybody came out with their shoes on, getting it, running. Then my brother came out and, he beat the dude that everybody was, and then my neighbor came out and beat my brother. You know what I'm saying? And then Eric came out and was bouncing the ball on the curve. Now we ran all the way into the night. And Eric came out and he was like, none of y'all are faster than me. And we all looked like, hurt. I mean, you could have heard a pin drop because the whole hood is out there. And he was like, none of y'all can run faster than me. And we was like, okay. So the dude my brother beat was like, come on, let's go. His name was Jim Jim. Couldn't stand him. He was like, let's go. Eric beat him, no problem. Jim Jim was quick. Jim Jim was known to be a fast starter. He was quick. Eric caught him, boom, blew him away. We was like, okay, my brother raced him, caught my brother, dusted him. And then the big dog came out. My neighbor, his name was Joe. Joe came out, go. Joe got that jump on him. Eric's eyes got about this big. He was like, and was like, and accelerated and just blew him away like it was nothing. And we were just all like, hell no. Like we had no idea that the neighborhood weed dude was a 100% athlete. And then he would come out to the basketball court and we would play a game called Loose Booty. And that's how Loose Booty went. If you came out and you was playing on the court and it'd be you and a couple of guys who you thought, how you doing? And a couple of guys who you thought that you could beat, you know, so it'd be like four of you. And they'd be like, let's play Loose Booty. Anybody who says that thinks that they could beat everyone else. So okay, the game is over when somebody hits 21, right? When somebody gets to 21, the game's over. Who's ever the lowest man, whoever has the least points, everybody who's out there gets to kick you in the ass. The problem is, if You're 14 and all your homies is 14, 15. It's a fair game. Well, when the 16, 17-year-olds come down, everybody comes to the basketball court. They'll go, "What y'all playing?" And they'll go, "Loose booty." And they'll say, "Who's the lowest man?" And they'll say, "Who's the lowest man?" And they'll say, "Who's the highest man?" And if the highest man is 20, they won't get in. But if the highest man is like 16 and the lowest man is 2, then they're going to get in, and it could be the biggest dude on the block. And one time this actually did happen. The biggest dude on the block came down to the basketball court, and his name was Doug Williams. A big dude, R.I.P. Doug. He was the big homie though. He came down there, man. It was like 12 of us, and I was low man, and I was scrambling for the ball in every which way I could, and I could not get a hold of that ball. Eric Siebels came down. He came down. Boom. He was like, "What y'all playing?" It was like loose booty. He was like, "Who's low man?" They was like Silky, and that was my nickname. They it was like, "What a Silky got?" He's like 2. Eric came down, gets a hold of the ball because he's super quick. Gets a hold of the ball, shoots it, boom, shoots, hits 2. He's already tied with me. Then he gets to the free throw line, and he goes to the top of the key, and he starts knocking down free throw after free throw after. It just, I wanted to cry. I wanted to cry. And next thing you know, and one came off the rim. He gets the back, shoots it, boom. He does the same thing, and he ran all the way up to 21, and everybody got to kick me in the ass. Needless to say, I sucked at basketball. But that is a real story. But he was the neighborhood. He was the neighborhood, guy. So it was easy for him to talk to us. So it could happen to anybody. Anybody could have laced anything. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I kind of fell for X. Like they snuck one in on you, big dog. It's a terrible thing to happen to X. Terrible, terrible thing. Tom, please be on the lines. Keep me on the right page. Yeah, man. I'll keep doing live. Biggie's number one for me too. Yeah, Biggie's number one for me too. But it's just because he was so real. And another thing, and I'm gonna tell you something else. Like I'm a square dude. I'm a square ass dude, right? But I I used to listen to Biggie every day and listen to stuff he was into, and I knew. Like one day I even said it. I was like, he's gonna die of gunshot wounds. I said in front of one of my homies. I was like, yeah, he gonna die. And then next thing you know, a couple years later, boom, he was there. I already knew it because of the violent life he talked about, and plus what he was already into. I was like, he's not gonna live too long. Now the thing about his music is, I used to take him and other people. I used to listen to the music and take what good I could out of the music, and you know, and go, okay, I want to use this. And so you can take like Jay Z. I don't really like Jay Z music. I like the beats though. I love the beats. But the thing about Jay Z music is, and it took me a while to catch on. Jay Z talks about hustling a lot. You know. So when I stopped being like I don't really like him, but when I start listening to this dude, he talks about money. He talks about hustling. You have to be like, if you're not a regular 9 to 5 dude, or if that is your hustle, because it's a hustle too, you got to start thinking, this dude is a billionaire now. Use what he's saying and do it in your own way, and that's what I do. You know, that's what I do, man. Every day, like Rick Ross said, every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling. I'll tell you another true story. I told this one before, but Rick Ross, right? Before Rick Ross was famous, let me see what Justin is saying. I like I like Tupac. Yeah, he's a great poet. Freeway, Rick Ross killed DMX for pumping crack and R. in our neighborhoods. Really? Freeway, Rick Ross. How about all that? So I used to my one of my hustles was females, right? I used to be around a lot of females, and I would use the females and position them to do stuff for me. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't pimping because I wasn't I didn't have them out on the street or nothing like that. But I had them all doing certain things for me and using them in certain positions, right? So if I get into it with one of them, I would always call another female to come and help me out, whatever the situation was, right? So one time I went to jail, right, over this female, and while I was in there, while I was in there, I ran into this dude. He popped up in the celly. It was a 30-man tank. I mean, he, and he was some foreign dude, right? So he was just sitting there frozen. And whenever you get into the cell, anyone in the cell can help you get out of it. You have to realize that you thinking, oh shoot, I'm locked up with a bunch of hardheads. You are locked up with a bunch of people who probably been locked up before and know how to get you out, right? So I'm looking at dude, and we start talking immediately. Like, yo, what you in for? He was like, yo, I was driving my 500, my Mercedes 500 CL, and uh, cops pulled me over and said I had a warrant uh, it, because of an expired ticket. But I didn't pay it because I was out of the country. Now, first, you don't want to believe it because this dude said he was driving a 500, which means you got mad bread. But this is a very young dude. But we didn't go like, nah, we don't believe it. We were just like, yo. He said, listen, if I can get somebody to call my lawyer, you know what I'm saying? I got, so much money. He was talking in the thousands. He was like right in my apartment. And you just go in and grab the money and, boom, boom. So I said, I can call my girl, you know what I'm saying? This was other than the one who put me in there. I was like, I can call my girl. She can three-way your lawyer. Your lawyer can go ahead and get you out. He was like, yeah. He was like, if you do that for me, I'll give you $100. And then I was like, okay, I want my $100. And he was like, he was like, uh, you guys ever heard of Rick Ross? And we was just like, yeah, we heard of him, but I was like, so what? He was like, have you ever heard of Slip and Slide Records? And I was like, no, I never heard of him. He said, well, I'm the manager. Like he's like, I own Slip and Slide Records, me and another person. And I was just like, we was like, no big deal. But some people recognize. They was just like, okay, yeah, we heard Rick. He's coming up. Now Rick is one of the biggest rappers ever. Slip and Slide Records. Sure enough, that dude was in jail with us. And so I called my girl. My girl hit the three-way, called the lawyer. The lawyer came down there, fire in his blood, went right to, 5-0. And dude was like, yeah, if my lawyer gets down here, I'll be out in no time. We said, you will not get out of here at least for 24 hours or at least for 8 hours because of our process. That dude was out in an hour. He was gone. Once his lawyer, called the police and then came and touched down and was talking about lighting him up and suing him, that dude was out in an hour. Boom. Out processed the whole nine. Boom. He was gone. That was some real stuff. So yeah, Slip and Slide Records. And then make it so bad, he gave me his information. That he said, because I told him I do music. He was like, send me some music. And I'm sure he's forgotten all about me. But I never did send him any music. He never did give him $100 either. But I hope that dude get out of jail. Yeah. Well, you know, I've met KRS One, Maxwell. Those dudes. I didn't actually meet Maxwell. I had a chance to, but that's when his first album came out. It was like Meet Maxwell after the show. I'm like a whole dude, so if I was a dude, I wouldn't want to see me walking to So I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. Everybody was standing in line. I could have went in there and said, "What up?" But I know the vibes. You want to see the women's, like, come on. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, X, it just hurts that X is gone, man. It hurts because he was, and yeah, X was doing drugs. But the thing about X was he didn't tell you he wasn't. That's the thing about him. He never, X talked about the stuff that was going on in his neighborhood. And he talked about the stuff that he was doing in his neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, this is what I'm doing in the neighborhood. He would like tell you what he was doing in the neighborhood. But how many times did X go to jail for being a drug dealer? I mean, did X go to jail for being a drug? No, he went to jail for tax evasion. He went to jail for tax evasion. So just like, how big of a drug dealer was this dude? Like, come on, like when people, talk about, yeah, he was pumping crack in the neighborhood. He was a small time crack dealer, like a lot of these rappers were. A lot of these rappers came up small. Where do you think that Suge Knight and all them got their money from? Where do you think Jay Z got his money from? Jay Z talked about where his money came from. He was standing in a project selling crack. That's where his money came. Him and Damon Dash. That's where the money. This is why I don't listen. I don't listen to Damon Dash, not unless he's talking about business. But other than that, I don't pay Damon Dash no mind, especially him or Stacy. They both a little out there to me. Jay Z, a little bit. I pay him a little bit of mine, but still, a lot of these guys came up selling crack. You know what I'm saying? They came up in some kind of illegal way. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a lot of them came. A lot of these guys are poor, and they come from poor neighborhoods and struggling. Look at how the Wu Tang Clan came up. Killer Bees. They were on welfare when they made Killer Bees. They were on welfare. They have an album out that has. They have an album that has not hit the market. That's worth $2 million. $2 million. I mean, come on. These dudes were dirt poor. Kanye West was selling kitchen knives. He is a multi-billion. Well, he's a billionaire. I don't know if he's a multi. Kanye West used to sell kitchen knives. He learned how to mix music in a basement, like a literal basement. This guy who I don't know who he was, but he had all the XLR stuff down in his basement, and he would show Kanye West how to mix all the stuff in the basement, how to do all the plugins. Now it's all digital. He was showing Kanye West how to do that, and Kanye is just a musical genius. No, but he was selling kitchen knives. All these guys started off in some kind of poor way. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who you're listening to, a lot of these young rappers still talk about that stuff and glorify that stuff because that's what they did. Listen, you're not gonna find a rapper with a silver spoon in the beginning and worth listening to. Not a street rapper. The only rapper that came out with some money and is you can listen to, but you ain't gonna be a street dude and listen to him. That's Drake. He's the only one, and Drake never claims to be a street dude. But if you want to know what's going on the streets, you listen to rap music. Rap music will always tell you what the hood is doing. That's what hip hop is. It's telling a story of what's going on around you. And usually that's how a bunch of these guys get caught. But like I said, how many times has X been to jail for, commit murders? These rappers was out here killing each other. Come on. Listen to 50 Cent story. 50 wasn't killing nobody, but 50 came up selling crack, went right back to the street after he got his first record deal. 50's first record deal was $50,000 through Jam Master Jay. He got $5,000 after everything was said and done. He took the $5,000, went right back to the street, and started selling crack. And that's that. So you had a lot of people in the hood doing that. I'm just saying it's a normal thing. But you would not want to listen to a square ass rapper. How much of Drake can you take? How much of that can you take? Can you listen to a whole Drake album like every day? No, you'll turn into mush. You'll turn into water. You listen to Drake every day. That you love so bad. Who says that? Who said? I'm just saying you could do better. Like, get out. No, singing ass. No, Drake is number one, but okay, he's for the women. He's for the women and the white people. He is not for the hood. He's not for the hood. He's not from the hood. He's not that dude. I'm just saying, y'all. You saying, they came at X for selling. Look, the industry changed back in 1990. Okay? The industry changed back in 1990 and 1991 when the people who control the music industry now, I don't want to say their names because it'll ding my YouTube channel because they control YouTube also. But when those people took over music, what they did was they took out all the people who was talking positive about the neighborhoods. So Queen Latifah took her out the game. When was the last time Queen Latifah had an album that you heard about? Intelligent Hoodlum, I met his mom. Poor Righteous Teachers, rock this funky joint. Gone. Professor Griff and Public Enemy, they started to fizzle out. Then they broke up. De La Soul, same thing. Just name one positive rapping group out there. You can even go as far as back as Kid and Play. All that got played out when they came out with NWA. Music changed when they promoted NWA, and they did it on purpose. Ice Cube and all them. Supposed to be hard. Them dudes wasn't hard. Those dudes were agents. They were meant to corrupt the neighborhood and promote death. Those dudes ain't hard. Ice Cube ain't no gangster. Been married to the same woman for 30 years. Had an album out called Kill It Will. How many times Ice Cube been to jail? How many times Snoop Doggy Dogg been to jail? I'm just saying you have a bunch of people in this industry that they are not what they say they are. They were put there because they were agents of chaos. And we watched the whole thing happen right in front of our eyes. And we were just like, this ain't right. And all your positive rappers are gone. Who's the number one rapper today? Drake. What's he talking about? Chasing women around and nobody believed that song when he came out with God's Plan. Dude, you ain't thinking about God. You thinking about hoeing. You got babies by prostitutes. Ain't God's plan. Get out of here. Like you just earned some brownie points in heaven for that trash. No. I mean, what's your favorite rap? Look, for all you young people, yeah, your favorite rapper is gay, uh, um, in and out of prison, run around with guns that they never use. I mean, how many people did Lil Wayne kill? He got tattooed tears on his face. How gangster is this dude? I'm just saying, when you compare all those people to X, you got to look at them and go, these dudes was never real. Heck, Dipset is more real than the majority of people out there. I give Dipset that. They're more real than the majority of people out there. I give them that. But X is the realest out there. He really, like Tupac was a real dude. Like Tupac, Biggie, they was into some stuff that they really did. There, who the is this? Paging me at 5:46 in the morning, crack of dawn and still yawning, right to sleep out my eyes. See who the is doing this and why? It's my nigga Pop from the bumper shop. Then this plan. I mean, fly baby, baby, hold up, love, chill, stop the caper. Remember back when? Do some is that you do from back when? I mean, Big was talking about stuff that was actually going down. And if you listen to that song, I got a story to tell. That's actually a real story. The basketball player he did that to is dead, but that's a real story. Big was in there banging this dude's girl, and the dude walked in on him, and Big drew on him. Big reached. He reached for the pistol, and dude saw, Big with the gun. He was like, "Yo, don't shoot me," and then went and dug up $100,000, handed it to Big, and told Big, "Say here, just leave." He just gave it to him. Just like Big was really doing the stuff he was talking about. That's what I'm saying. That's what made me listen to him. A lot of these rappers you listen to today, they don't do that stuff they talk about. They're agents of chaos. They don't do that stuff. Y'all listening to people who are leading you the wrong way just to get plays on the radio. That's all that they want. They just want your money. You got more millionaire rappers now than you ever did. Why? Because of the internet. They are internet gangsters. They're not really out here doing that stuff. They not. And then the ones who are get caught real quick. The ones who are really out here doing that stuff, they get caught real fast. That one dude just got caught. FL, whatever he is, Lucci. He just got caught for what was it, murder, some type of drive-by, and that's Lil Wayne's. Lil Wayne's daughter was dating him. FNL, whatever the heck his acronym is, Lucci. Yeah. So I mean, these young gangsters out here, what they do is they put all their stuff in their business all in the street, their business all on the internet, and the police watch what you do. As a matter of fact, they tracked down one guy because they were watching him on Instagram the whole time. They looked at what address he was at. And they just followed him right to his house because he was live the whole time. They doing it for clout because Instagram pays them. All that clout, pays them, but nonetheless, if you're committing a crime, yeah, the police followed him right to his crib. They just waited. They just waited. Dude was committing a crime. Police was right on it. They was following him the whole time. And they watched the address he went to. Boom. And when he got there, his mother answered the door. And they was just like, "We know so and so's in there." She's like, "He's not in there." They're just like, "We know you're lying to us. He's in there. Tell him to come out." Once her house got surrounded, she was like, "All right, come on out." Like you guys, you don't understand. A lot of the music today is here to set you up for failure. That's what a lot of music is today. It's made to set you up. It's made to impregnate your daughters. It's made to so your young men will never look at these the famous females. They're just having babies after baby. Like what's Ti's daughter? Ti spent all that time making sure his daughter's hymen wasn't broken, doing all that crazy stuff, and then boom, she pregnant. You want to go? Come on, you want to go and stop that because this is the way. This is the life. Instead of coaching her into getting married and stuff, they don't want to be married. These girls don't want to be married. They want to have babies. They just want to have. They want to be a baby. They're proud to be single mothers. They're proud to be baby mamas. They think it's some kind of. I'm just saying, like the real rappers is it's almost like a thing of the past. I mean, you got a few out there. Who's that boy from the West Coast? DNA. What's his name? I forgot his name. The one that I don't even remember his name. But I'm just saying, you guys, there's a lot of rappers in the game right now that are fake, and it's hard to find somebody as real as X out there because you knew what he was doing. You knew how the Rough Riders was getting money when they started. You knew it. They came from the street. They was a whole street organization. That's how they came up. As a matter of fact, the Rough Riders is still a big thing right now, and the thing about the Rough Riders is it's not even local anymore. It's like you got Rough Riders from other countries. I don't like the street life, but there are people who are born in it. You know what I'm saying? When you get people who are born in it, like they're so opposite of me, I'd rather not get in a confrontation. But every now and then I run into one of them. Then I got to deal with them on their level. You know what I'm saying? You just can't. Some of them will just mess with you until you react, because that's the life they came from. They're street people. They're gonna try to dominate you, one way or another, and talk to you crazy until you meet them on their level. And like, okay, well, if I got to get crazy, I'm gonna get crazy with you, and then you gotta measure how angry and crazy you want to get because they're used to crazy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if it's a real street person, but if it's a fake, like there's a lot of fake street rappers out there. They really not about that life. Who's the one kid that just got beat up, just got dragged in the street? And what's the other white dude that just got killed? I got time today, cuz they killed him. 22 years old. He's dead. Yeah, I got time today, cuz the little white dude who said that, he was, acting like a crip. He's dead. They had one white dude, he went to jail, right? And when he went to jail, the two white officers was talking to him, and he turned real quick. He was like, "Listen, I don't want to be a gangster. I'm a white dude. I want to be like you. I want to be just a regular white dude like you." See, it gets real when you hit that jail cell. When you hear them bars slam, bang, it gets real quick, real quick. If you ain't never been behind bars, it is nothing that you want to do. Because as soon as you get behind there, it's you and them, and that's it. And a lot of times the people who run the jail cells, they ain't even around, and they'll tell you whatever happened in here stays in here. So if you in there with a bunch of hard heads who ain't got nothing better to do but to beat your face in, and take your toothbrush and toothpaste, well, guess what's about to happen to you? And dare you to say something. True story, they had this white dude, right? He was in, he was locked up in a 30-man tank. 30-man tanks are so dangerous because you don't know where it's coming from. He's locked up in a 30-man, right? And what he decided to do was, he was playing his old position. He was chilling because there was a lot of brothers in there. You know what I'm saying? So he watched his whole demeanor. So he thought he was getting out, right? Thought he was like getting out, like he was being released. So when they called his name, they opened the door, let him out, and I don't know like how long they had him out, but he started talking smack about the black dudes that were on the other side. And he called them the N word. He talked about how much he hated them. Now, I've been in both positions before. I'm in a 30-man tank, Anything could happen. I got in scraps before. And when you're on the outside and you're leaving, everybody can still hear you and they can see you. So if you start talking about them, they're looking out that little glass and they're looking at you. They're all still looking at you because you're leaving. They're still in there and they're looking at you. So they may give you the finger. They may be like, what's up? Or have a good one or, contact my baby mama or whatever. But they can still hear you. So this dude gets to yapping to the guard about him, talking, hate these, N words and all this other stuff. So they was like, yo, we treated you good in here. It was like, yo, we treated you good in here. We was nice to you. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna say all that stuff about us? We're gonna find out that dude wasn't leaving that day. I think he just went down to medical or whatever. And they put him right back in the same cell where he called all those guys in here the N word. They demolished that dude. And the next time the guards saw him, he was a whole different color. And the guards asked him what happened. And he said, I fell down. $30-man tank ain't no joke. None whatsoever. They beat the crap out of that boy. And they disgraced him. Bad. So yeah. I'm just saying. A lot of these cats out here in the street ain't built for that. They're not ready for that war every day. They not. They just out here trying to get money, talking all this stuff. And then when somebody really comes see them about them who's about that, they end up running. That just happened to one of these little YouTube dudes. Like I said, it's hard to find somebody who was real. And X was real. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I haven't listened to his music in a long time, but I don't need to listen to somebody's music every day to appreciate him. He's a real dude. You take, if he was talking about something you ain't into, which he did, I ain't listened to it. I ain't let it in my spirit because I ain't no gangster. I ain't never run around talking about blowing people up. I talk about punching somebody in the face because I'll do that in a minute. I'll punch you in the face in a minute. But when it comes to all this death and slinging rocks and all this other, I ain't doing that. I'll go to jail for a fight in a heartbeat. I'll do 7 days for a fight. I got in a fight. But when it comes to doing, mandatory 5 years for a weapon, that's mandatory. Unregistered weapon, 5 years. Yeah. Last time Lil Wayne went to jail, they got him for weapons. I'm just saying, some people ain't really built like that. Lil Wayne ain't built like that. He got pardoned from the president. Wait, what? He got pardoned from the president. Lil Wayne, you ain't. I ain't gonna never listen to anything gangster Lil Wayne got to say. Never. Never. You are not a. If I wanted to learn from the street, I would not listen to Lil Wayne and learn from the street, because he is not a gangster, not whatsoever. Not whatsoever. You are not a blood. You're not. You're not. You're not putting in work like that. You're not. And the Bloods talk about him. You hear Bloods talk about him all this. Like, dude, where do you get your flag from? Where? How did you? When did you become like? No. You really see Crips and Bloods. Let me tell you something. Crips and Bloods started off as community leaders. It's the music industry that turned it to against each other and started murdering each other just for a color. They were community leaders. That's how it started. But like recently, when all this, COVID starts happening and people was going into other people's neighborhoods and pretty much knocking down the neighborhood, you had a bunch of Crips and Bloods would show up like, nah, you're not coming through this neighborhood. That's what they were supposed to do. Yeah, how you doing today? What up with you? That's what Crips and Bloods are supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? You try to come through their neighborhood acting crazy, you get lit up. Like, come back through here and see what happened to you. You know what I'm saying? So you see Crips and Bloods show up like that. A lot of these people just run around with a flag. You're not really, to me, an old school dude, you're not really down with what the Crips and Bloods was about. If you just sitting around here terrorizing the neighborhood and just hollering about your flag and then don't want nobody to wear another color, like that's, I mean, come on. It was the FBI, CIA, yeah, and they did a lot of it through music. The gang units, yeah, they got involved. They were planting guns in Chicago. People in Chicago would be like, we would just wake up and walk outside. There'd be a whole bunch of guns sitting there. Like, yeah, all that stuff is planted. They did a lot of it through music. This is why Snoop Doggy Dogg and them was promoted. This is why Suge Knight was promoted. Because they were talking about stuff that tore down the neighborhoods. Anything to make people keep killing. Listen, if the Crips and Bloods was really all that against each other, I mean, you talking about Daz and Corrupts were Crips, weren't they? Daz and Corrupts were Crips. Daz and Corrupt were Crips. Snoop Doggy Dogg is a known Crip, even though we don't know anything he's ever done. But he did go to trial for murder. But then you turn around and look at who they were working for. It's like, wait a minute, time out, foul on the play. You guys belong to Death Row. Death Row was ran by a Pyru Blood. A Pyru Blood member who was doing Pyru Blood stuff. Nobody in their right mind would ever say that Suge Knight was not the truth. Suge Knight is Candyman. You say his name 3 times, you're going to have a problem. You're going to have a problem. Jamie Foxx talked about how afraid he was of Suge Knight. When Suge Knight came to your party, you let him in. Come on. No. A lot of you guys is not with the business like Suge was. Suge was with the business. So I'm like, man, get out of here with all that Crips and Blood stuff. The real Crips and Bloods out here doing stuff, they let you know who they was. 80% of the hip hop artists, that's what I'm saying. They're not real. They're not real gangsters. They get in jail, and next thing you know, they trying to get out real quick because their enemies are in there. They're not trying to live that life. They're not trying to, file down toothbrushes and, have shanks. No, they don't want no part of that noise. I don't want no part of that noise. I can admit it because I'm not hard. I'm not hard. I don't like confrontation. So can't nobody run up on me talking about I'm hard. I'd be like, you got the wrong person. I sling refrigerators. You better get up out of here. Master P wasn't scared of him. Okay, but Master P is different. Okay, let's look at Master P. Master P came out, with all that Bout It stuff, which actually came from somebody else. It came from another rapper. And then, he was, coming out with, Bout It. And then he had did he have Silk the Shocker? Oh my God, he was terrible. Silk the Shocker. He had, who's that other rapper Master P had? He had a few of them. There are several artists that, because affiliated when they were years in the business. Yeah, well, see, Master P, when you really look at Master P and his career in its entirety, Master P was always one thing, a businessman. And he pretty much lets you know that from the beginning. From the very beginning, Master P, yeah, mystical. That's who it was. Now, let me say this. Mystical was not a gangster, but he was about that business. If you mess with him, see, the Master P sat in between the regular degular and the gangster dudes. That's why nobody really came at Master P. I mean, this dude could have went and played for the NBA if he wanted to. Master P is dope when it came to balling. Now look at his son. His son could have went to D1 school. He just signed with a all black college. Master P is that deal, but he's always been one thing: a businessman. That's it, and that's all. Whenever he talked about business. He signed Ricky Williams. When Ricky Williams first came out and went to the NFL, Master P signed Ricky Williams. He was his manager. Now it all fell apart, but nonetheless, he still tried that angle. Now Jay-Z is all up into that stuff right now. He's ridiculous. But Master P was on that. This dude got so many businesses going. He just went into business with a black man who was an engineer for the space program. This guy just made a car. So he's like, yeah, we're going to go into business with you. Master P is the consummate, but that. He's always been the dude who wasn't doing gangster stuff. On the whole, he was doing movies. He wasn't out here promoting gangster stuff. But he was like, I'm about that business if you come with it. But other than that, he's like, I'm not trying to stay in the hood. Like, I admire Master P. Yeah, No Limit Sports. I admire Master P like nobody else in the rap game because Master P came out and when he got a foothold in business, he always talked business, and nobody ever disrespected him. You hear when he went on what's that show with Angela Yee, Charlemagne the God, and DJ Envy, The Breakfast Club. Charlemagne the God said something about one of the women that Master P runs with. He's like, she got a fat booty, and he was like, yeah, but you ain't gonna be disrespecting her while I'm here. And Charlemagne the God dialed all that back real quick. Yeah, you better dial that back, cause Master P let you. Yeah. He let you know. Listen, I'm not out here thugging, but if you need the business, I'll give it to you. That's why I always liked him, and you never heard about him getting into anything. Yeah, who became an attorney. You never heard Master P getting in any trouble, but you never heard anybody disrespect him. You can't name somebody who disrespected him. You don't have no stories out there on the internet about people who came at him. Why? Because he didn't get into that nonsense. People knew exactly who he was and what he did. And if you wanted the business, we can get into it. We can get into some street stuff. Other than that, I'm trying to get this paper. So Master P was the opposite of a lot of these clowns, killing each other in the hood. Master P said, listen, a lot of you guys are spending money and not knowing what you're doing. He was like, come to me and I'll enlighten you and help you get your own. He was like, I own all my royalties. You know who else is a good businessman? Yeah, Jay Prince, but Jay Prince did it different. Jay Prince is different though, because Jay Prince didn't start off on Master P level, but he's worth like 600 million. See, Jay Prince is the boogeyman. He is the boogeyman. He Jay Prince is worse than Suge Knight. He's 10 times worse than Suge Knight. 10 times. Suge Knight owned the company, and people listened to him within that company in the music industry. Jay Prince did the same thing. He rocks with rap a lot. Yeah, he still is. Suge Knight or Jay Prince, he helped out rap a lot. But Jay Prince was always behind the scene of a lot of big stars people didn't know about. One of them, Floyd Mayweather. Jay Prince came to Floyd and was just like, yo, let me show you how to keep your money. And one day, Floyd decided to piss Jay Prince off. And, it was like, yo, Floyd, you owe me 600,000. Yeah, he was like, you owe me 600,000. So Floyd was in his gym. Jay Prince sent his boys to go beat up Floyd's bodyguards. Went over there, smashed his bodyguards, and was like, give me my money. Yo, you don't know who the boogeyman is. this dude, this dude lifted a finger and had your whole tent busted up. Everybody in there. All them tough fighting bodyguards Floyd got around him, all of them turned to nothing. Because the real gangsters came out to play. $600,000, give me my money. You owe me my money. And that was it. Floyd gave him that money. Jay Prince is the real boogeyman. For a minute, you didn't even see Jay Prince. You ain't even see him. Look at what happened, what was it, last year? When that little young boy caught $150 and they robbed him for his chain and lit him up from here to here. They did him dirty right there. What did Jay Prince do? See, they didn't know he belonged to Jay Prince. The little young boy. Boy, he's thinner than a pancake. But he belonged to Jay Prince. They ain't know he belonged to Jay. They did him dirty. Them boys are all in jail. Jay Prince put out a PSA. He sent, he told my son, he named all the gangsters in New York and told them, do something about it. Like, go and make this right. He said, if you don't, it's a recipe for violence or something like that. Remember Jay Prince did that? He was like, listen, my son, the general, Hocus 4-5, and he named a couple other big timers out there. And if you don't know who YNB Nelly. If you don't know who Hocus 4-5 is, go look up his resume. This ain't a dude that you call out. Go look up Hocus 4-5. This ain't a brother you call out. This not somebody you want to play with. This not somebody you tell what to do and you in a whole nother state. Them boys all got up and did what yeah, Jay Prince is the real boogeyman. He's the real boogeyman. This is not a dude that you flex on. This man owns cows. He owns property. He owns oh my God, he owns so much stuff. But if he sends somebody to come see you, it's a bad deal for you. And he don't care how tough you are. This is why nobody messes with Drake. Because Jay Prince owns Drake. This is why Drake can talk all that stuff, but fool around and rob him. Fool around and beat Drake up and see what happens to you. Try it. Go ahead, act tough. Run up on Drake like he ain't nobody. And that's one of That's one of their mainstay. Is you ever hear the way Jay Prince son talks? When you say Jay Prince owns Drake, do you mean he owns the rights? Yeah, he owns a lot of his music or something like that, or the company he's with. But yeah, OVO or something like that. I mean, he's the one that helped Drake. He's the one that helped Drake get on. That's why Drake was in with a lot of top rappers so quick. Look, you don't. Drake got skills, but you don't reach the top like that quick and mix up with all those people who Drake's been mixing it up with. Dude has an airplane. No, he's mega rich because, I mean, if you're reading this, it's too late, because he's rocking with one of the biggest gangsters on the planet. And that's it, and that's all. Yeah, Drake, I mean, but trust me, he is owned. He does whatever that man says. They all do. You're not going to run up in Houston and start trying to take over anything. You'll get missing. Well, nothing happened to him. Lil Wayne has got controversies. To me, Lil Wayne's got a lot of things going on inside of him that he's conflicted with. One of them is, I mean, for years we watched him kiss a man, but nonetheless, you was running around with you were the hot boys. I mean, Manny Fresh, Babyface. I mean, come on, fresh, after we fresh. Go DJ. Oh, that my DJ. I mean, come on, you guys was putting out. I want a hot boy. I need a hot. I mean, y'all was putting out hits on hits. Lil Wayne's just tearing it up. But nonetheless, you kissing on a man, and we trying to figure that out. Like we trying to figure out what is gangster now. Like what is real and what. Why? Why is the guy who mentors you? Yeah. Why is baby kissing you in the mouth? Yeah. Yo, and then baby gonna get up on stage, and they was supposed to be, and you know how they all get up on stage and and all this. Baby's on stage, and then he was like, "Yeah, we want the dudes to come up here." He's like, "I mess with dudes too." And then a couple gay rappers was like, "Yo," like the one gay rapper was like, "Yo, baby had sex with me." Like this dude, he was like, he was like, "I let him sleep with me for the deal, for a record deal." And they were kissing. These two dudes was kissing on each other. It was like, "Yeah, baby loves us." Okay, 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 okay. Wait a minute. I'm I'm confused. I'm confused on what a gangster is anymore. Yeah, I don't know what a gangster is anymore because that just confused me all the way gone. I don't. See, this makes you love people like X. Cause you knew where X was coming from. Or don't stop, or don't stop. I mean, come on. Y'all gonna make me lose my mind up in here. I mean, come on. You knew where X was coming from. I don't know where these gangsters is coming from. How are you a blood? You a hardcore gangster, and you're sleeping with little boys. And these boys is coming right out and saying that you're sleeping with them. Now they ain't illegal. I'm just saying they look like teenagers, but they're men. You're sleeping. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I can't do it. I can't do it. But don't they have to be certain things to get in? Nah. I mean, you look there. Look, there's always been, not always, but two thousand, around 2000, you start having rumors of gay rappers. You had, I mean, when I looked at Dipset. You know what I'm saying? When I looked at Dipset, I was like, yeah, Dipset hardcore. I don't like none of their music, but I did like Oh Boy. I mean, come on, everybody's favorite Dipset is always, what's his name? The dark skinned one. Dude is crazy. One of you guys know his name? The leader of the Dipset. He's always going to be your favorite. It's not Joel Santana. It's not Jim Jones. It's Cameron. Yeah. Cameron is always going to be your favorite Dipset because Cameron has a personality. He's funny. Very funny. So when you look at Dipset though, and you're like, all right, let's look at one of their number one songs. One of their number one songs was what? Ballin', right? I don't know when it came out, but it was a long time ago. Remember that song, Ballin'? And it was a hit. Go back and look at the video. Just go look at the Ballin' video. And tell me what's wrong with that picture. And then We Fly High. I mean, the song is just, that's when I was in the club. So that was a long time ago. Ballin', you know. But that's Cameron. Cameron has never been questionable to me. Never. He's always been a 100% street dude. But that Ballin' video, it turned me completely off the Dipset, except for Cameron. And I don't like Cameron's music so much. I like Cameron just as a person because he's just a crazy dude who will make you laugh with a lot. I mean, they do you ever seen some of his little shows that he has? It'll just be a bunch of white people asking Cameron questions, and Cameron will give them an honest, street answer. It's hilarious. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you ever hear the interview when Cameron was talking about how he would not call the cops if there was a serial killer living next door, he's like, nah, I would just leave. Like, Cameron is amazing. But his logic is it's just very Cameron. He's a whole, character. But when I saw that Dipset video, of Ballin', I was like, no, no. Real dudes don't do this. We're, you're not going to pour a bunch of champagne on me. And there's no females around. And me not say nothing to you. Yeah. You're not going to put a bunch of champagne on me. They just sitting there squirting champagne on each other. And I'm just like, why is there not a whole host of females here? Where's Chrissy? I mean, why isn't there a bunch of beautiful women that y'all all having these parties with? Like, you would never see that with Jay-Z. Go look at Jay-Z's I'm a Hustler, baby. Go look at Jay-Z's video. You're going to see women coming out of the blue. You knew it was. Go look at a Tupac video. You see women everywhere. Round and round it goes. But Ballin', which was your number one song, there's nothing but dudes pouring champagne on each other. Nah. And then another video they had back when they was real young, they in some kind of I don't know, they're in a trailer or whatever, but Jules Santana's rapping, and Jim Jones is all on him, face almost next to his face. And Jules actually kind of like looks up one time like this, like dude, why is your face this close to my face? Like he all in the camera, like Jules is rapping, Jim Jones all in the camera over his shoulder. Like that's uncomfortable to me. That's uncomfortable to me, man. I can't do all that. Like get off me. Like that's uncomfortable. I can't do that. I'm not doing that. Like get off. Like nah, that's uncomfortable to me, man. I don't look right. The same thing with state property. I can't stomach. I told you. It was their number one song. Is terrible video. Yeah. Well, Jay Z got tired of Damon Dash because Damon Dash was a control freak. Damon Dash was doing too much. I would have left him too. He's doing too much. So he was just like, nope. And he took Rockaware with him and dipped. Like you yell, like you can see videos where Damon Dash is just yelling at people, and Jay just got tired of it. Jay has a whole different way of operating. You don't hear Jay raising his voice. You don't hear you don't hear Jay doing that. Yeah, his ego hurt him. Yeah, all that. But it was like, yo, I can't rock with you, Dame Dash. You coming in here and talking to white people crazy. You yelling at them like this is their whole industry. So Jay Z dipped because Jay Z knew who has the power. Look at that last album Jay Z put out, that 444 album. What was his number one song on that one? Boom, 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 boom. All through that song, he's talking about who really has the power here. He was talking about how the Jewish people bought up all the land. He was like credit. He's talking about, you calling me bougie, that's just fine, but I'm just trying to give you, you know, some for $1.99. I mean, Jay Z, all that whole video is telling you how to come up. The whole video. My skin is black, you're yellow. I love that song. I love that song. I love that song. I do. I've listened to that song often, just banging it, like, because Jay Z's telling you the truth. It's the realest song to me he's ever made. Ever made. You know what I'm saying? And he's made some good songs. I'm saying Damon Dash was not on that level because Jay Z could see it. He was just like, I'm not going to, you sitting here hollering at white people. I'm not going to get where I need to go without these people because we don't own the industry here. Never listen to Jay. I knew him and Damon would always have an issue since Damon dated Aaliyah after him, even if he asked. And Jay said it was cool. I didn't know he would never be cool with him. I didn't know they both dated Aaliyah. Oh, I did know Dame dated Aaliyah. That was such a tragedy. Tragedy. I was sad to see her go. They found her still in a fetal position. Gone. Overloaded that plane. The little Cessna. It was like a little Cessna, wasn't it? They overloaded that plane. Couldn't take it. But yeah, so Dame Dash, man, he's just too much. Even Cameron. Cameron left his woman. Remember when Cameron did a video talking about why he left that Juju, and she was like, you left me because of whatever. I changed. He was like, no. He said, listen, when you had a fake booty, I was with you. When you got a real booty, I was with you. He said, I loved all that. He said, the reason why I left you is because you started yelling at, you know, you started threatening a person I was working with, and she was making me 300,000, and she was making me 300,000. And he's like, you can't beat up no white people in New York. He said, that's why I left you. It's the same reasoning. You're messing with my money, and these white people are bringing me money, and you're messing with it, and I can't be around you. So he let you go, and I would have too. Yeah, you fine, but you cost me 300,000. Take the woman or the 300,000, and this is a year. So he left her. I don't understand that. Like, how did that hurt Jim Jones? I mean, they've always had their little issue, but when you're at the top, Cameron's at the top. I mean, Cameron parlayed his career into almost comedy. What rapper do you know is doing what Cameron's doing? There's not one. I mean, Snoop Doggy Dogg, he does his little shows, but Snoop Doggy Dogg is not like a comedian. And Cameron is almost a comedian because it's so real what he says. I mean, he's making money just off of little segments that these people want to pay him for, and he's doing commercials. I mean, this dude is ridiculous. And he's still making music. Oh, about to whoop his ass. And he's still making music. Like, Killer Cam is that deal. But the way he slid into his career, man, is now he doesn't even have to rap. He just does it because he feels like it. I mean, it's ridiculous. Anyways, you guys, I'm about to go in and get me some food and chill. My back hurts. It's good talking to you guys. And you guys take it easy, man. God loves you. God bless X.